Hey there, Kelly here. I'm happy to see you back here. I decided that I would share some tips on being successful. I'll tell you that sometimes pressing that record button is a little difficult. It gets a little intimidating. And so I decided that I would come here because being successful, part of the way to get successful is to take action. So I decided that I would take action today, press that button, and come on here and share some success tips, not just in writing, but also via video. And then there's also a download that will give you 25 different success tips other than the 5 that you see in the blog post and the few that I'm going to give you here via video. So I hope you're going to get great value from what I'm going to share today. So I have my notes here. One of the things that you need to do if you're going to be successful is you got to stay focused. And I'll tell you guys, going from coping to cash flow, being focused on something other than your health or your problems or your situation sometimes can be pretty difficult. It could be pretty trying because we worry about those things that we haven't quite figured out yet. We worry about where we're going to, take care of our livelihood if we've lost our job. We worry about how we're going to pay our bills, especially when you have something new that's a new bill, like your health care costs. If you don't have the proper insurances, or even if you do, it was a bill that you didn't have before, if you're responsible for any portion of that. So trying to focus on something other than those problems will help you actually get past those problems, believe it or not. So one of the things that you want to do as far as success, after you set your goals, you want to try your best to make sure that you stay focused on moving forward with regard to those goals. The other thing that you want to do is be proactive. So I could have sat here and looked at that button and been like, oh my gosh, I haven't hit that button in a long, long time. I haven't talked to my people in a long, long time. And I could have just sat here frozen in fear, but you've got to be proactive. You've got to take that step and know that when you take that first step, life seems to kind of meet you where you are. Have you ever noticed that? That when you put yourself out there, things come back to you. So it's kind of like that reciprocity thing, what you put out there does indeed come back. So that's one of the things that you definitely want to do as far as trying to be successful. You want to be proactive and you want to step out there and do the thing. Some people get caught up and they get worried about the mistakes. There are no such things. Life doesn't come with a manual. Therefore, it's all learning stuff, so it's definitely not mistakes. The other thing that you want to do is, especially if you're establishing goals and if you want to be successful, you are indeed establishing goals, is you want to review those results regularly. Right now it's December and people are putting together their New Year's resolutions, which I don't believe in. I believe in writing goals, and they need to be goals that you revisit all the time. Often we will set goals or New Year's resolutions. We try it for a little bit and we don't chart the progress. And if you don't chart the progress, that's part of that whole thing where if you don't plan properly, then you plan to fail. So again, you want to chart your progress because you want to know how well you're doing and if you're accomplishing things and things that might need to be eliminated or revamped or reworked. So you definitely want to make sure that you are always reviewing your results regularly. The other thing that you need to learn how to do is to laugh. Because I will tell you what, when you are forging ahead on the path towards doing something out of the ordinary, doing something wonderful for yourself, trying to change your mindset, trying to change the direction of your life, things are going to go wrong, no matter what. Murphy and his law are going to show up. But if you get overly frustrated and feel like it's failure and you get so caught up that you're angry about it, it's not going to work for you anyway. The journey is not going to be enjoyable. So learn to laugh. Recently, I went to Hong Kong for 3 days, and from the time I got off the plane to the time I got back on the plane, it was one disaster after another disaster after another disaster. And it became such a debacle that it was just comical. It truly was. And I'll put the link. I actually did a vlog post on that. I'll put the link for that below too, so you guys can kind of laugh at, my frustrations and the situation that happened. But you got to learn how to laugh and learn how to have a sense of humor, because things are going to go wrong and they're beyond your control. So you just have to, go with it and make funny where you can and then move on. The last thing that I'm going to say, and many of us who are trying to forge our own path often have a difficult time with this, especially if you're a person who has been, deemed by your family as the strong one. Know when to ask for help. Asking for help doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you stupid. It doesn't make you a person that doesn't have any direction. Knowing when to ask for help is a strength, believe it or not. Knowing when to ask for help will get you to the finish line a lot faster, because it's almost like being directionless. You're driving around, you don't know where you're going. It might have taken you 30 minutes to get to where it took you an hour to get to because you didn't want to ask for help. Get there faster, learn from other people, and go ahead and do that thing. So those are my 5 success tips. You got 5 success tips in the blog post. There are additional 25 tips. So again, make sure that you click on that link, add your little email address, and then I will share with you all the other ways outside of just these 25 success tips on how you can go from coping to cash flow. So I hope to see you in my lovely little email subscription group. And otherwise, use these success tips. Let me know how they're helping you. Let me know what you're working towards. And let's talk about it. Let's get you from coping to cash flow. I'll talk with you guys hopefully tomorrow. My goal is to be here every single day. So I will see you soon. Ciao.